3D printing is the process of taking a digital design file and turning it into a three-dimensional object. Designs can be created on your own or downloaded from the internet, then printed. And the Bloomingdale Public Library offers 3D printing as a service for our patrons. To get started, there are a number of free resources available for creating 3D print objects. The first one we will explore today is TinkerCAD.com. Here at TinkerCAD, you can take a look at this first page here. And when we're ready to get started, we'll just go ahead and start tinkering. That's the button that we press there. As you can see, it does require a sign-in. You have a few options if you're in school, if you're an educator or a student. In my case, I have a sign-in already because I've registered. And because I've already done so, I'll go ahead and go to that page now. And when you log in, this is what it looks like. So I did start a 3D design project here, project 1. But as you can see, there's a lot of different links here, the gallery, blog, learn, teach. Feel free to explore on your own. But for our purpose today, we're just going to go ahead and create a project. And when I clicked on create project, it made project 2. So I'll select that and I'll press create, and then I want to make a 3D design. So hopefully you're with me here. Click on the create new design button to get to TinkerCAD's design screen, and now we are there. Alright, and there are several elements of this worth exploring. The first one is the work plane, where all the elements will be dropped and edited. And as you can see, I can zoom in and zoom out of the work plane by scrolling using the scrolling button on my mouse. Of course, if you do not have a scroller, you can use these buttons on the side: plus to zoom in, minus to zoom out. If you want the work plane to be moved a bit, just to kind of give it a different look or a different viewpoint, you can actually drag or hold down, click and hold down this cube here to move around the work plane. The next thing to note are the shapes. And here on the right side, we have a few shapes like a box, cylinder, sphere, scribble, roof, cone, and so forth. And here in the shapes, it allows users to drag and drop different basic objects into their design. And so let's go ahead and do that. I'll grab a sphere. So I'll click down on the sphere and bring it onto the work plane. Now I have the sphere on the work plane, and if I play around with these boxes in the corners, it will allow me to edit and change the dimensions by using these dots. And I can also rotate the object by clicking on these arrows above here or down. Okay. Of course, this is something that will require learning through experience, so feel free to play around with this. If you'd like to add more objects, you can do so. I just added a roof, and I'm going to enlarge it. And you do have the solid versus whole here. If you want to use a shape to remove a section of another shape, you can add them as a whole and overlay them as the existing design. You can also copy shapes that you created, and you can delete elements of your design, and you can undo your work as well. So there's some options up here as a toolbar. So if I click on this arrow, that will undo the option, the task that I did before, the action. If you want to just delete it altogether, you can click on that. So I'll delete that as well, and I'm going to add a cone, one very large cone. Of course, if you can also try out the Learn offerings on TinkerCAD. The demos that they provide are very instructional. So I'm going to click on the TinkerCAD icon here at the top left, and my design will stay here. It saves automatically, so don't worry about it, it'll be there. But the lessons are the fourth option down here after 3D design circuits and code blocks. There you have it. Another free resource that is available to you is Thingiverse. Thingiverse.com is where you get to that website. You would just type that in your search bar or address bar, and this is what Thingiverse looks like. And as you can see, there are popular posts or things here that are submitted, and it is updated regularly, so you can see different and new exciting things that are happening in the 3D printing world that is available to you for free. You can see that there's a Pikachu there that you can collect. So when you're ready to sign up, if you haven't already signed up, you can go ahead and click on the sign up button there and go ahead and fill out this information: email address, first name, last name, username, and so forth. I've already created an account for myself, so we'll go ahead and go to that page right now so you can see a few other things that can be used and utilized. Before we go ahead and go forth, there is an education button here that allows you to study 3D printing, so keep that in mind. If you feel like you need to use it, you would have to sign up for MakerBot Education. But when we're signed in, we can do a few different things. For example, this Baby Yoda project is very popular. You can see that it's been liked 16,000 times, and the comments here, there's 246 comments, and I've actually already collected, as you can see that there's a check mark there. But I'll go ahead and select that, and it'll take us to a new page dedicated to the Baby Yoda 3D print. And you can take a look at a few more images of the Baby Yoda, including a finished product in gray. It looks like a very good project there. And on the right side, you can see that you can download the files that you need to create this Baby Yoda. You can also just go ahead and collect this thing. I've already done so, but you can select where you want to, what collection you want to put this in. Right now I have it in my Things to Make collection, or I can also create a new collection as well. Feel free to play around with that. You can like it as well. When it's red, it means that you've already liked it. And then if you want to make a comment, feel free to do so by clicking on the comment button. Although for now, I'm just gonna forget about that. And you can also post a make as well. So if you actually do decide to download this particular file or these files and then make it, you can also post that make. So there are a few different options here. But let's go ahead and click on download all files just to kind of get you an idea of what it looks like. When you do so, there would be an ad here, but you can disregard that and wait for this pop-up to show up. And these are the files in a zip folder that allow you to create this print and edit as well. You can use 3D printing options like MakerBot, which is a downloadable app from this website, to your desktop computer, and you can play around, edit, change things to your liking. But if you just want to print it as it is, you can do so with these files. You just hold on to these and submit them with your print job to the Bloomingdale Public Library. So I'll just press OK, and there it is. I'll open the file so you can see what it looks like inside of it. So a zip file has the files inside the folder in a compressed format. Let's go ahead and do that again. And I'll just press OK. And you have a license, a README here, which doesn't really give a lot of information, but this is the creator of that project. Here's some images, and really what you need though are these files in this file folders to make that print job happen. Alright, so just by clicking on this, we can kind of get an image or take a look at what's going on, but I would highly suggest getting some 3D printing software, but this is what we have here. You can kind of drag it around to kind of see around it, just to see what the 3D print job looks like. Now, if you want to download the MakerBot application, if I just type in MakerBot print download in the search bar, because it may not be as user-friendly from the website, you can do so just by selecting the first option after the search has been entered, and there it is. You can download the MakerBot print 4.9, a standalone software that allows you to edit the prints. Keep in mind that you can edit with TinkerCAD, but TinkerCAD actually won't allow you to edit files that are over a certain size. So, for example, go ahead and just create the project 3, 3D design, and I'll show you one more time that there are a few more options from TinkerCAD. Right here we have import, so you can import 3D files, but it says here that the file size can be up to 25 megabytes, so keep that in mind. The Baby Yoda was about 100 megabytes, so that wouldn't work. I want to point your attention to our 3D printing page on our website. You can find it under Services, and it's the second to last option here. So go ahead and click on 3D printing, and note that the library currently is not accepting 3D print requests, but they will be evaluating how to resume and when they will do so. So feel free to continue to refresh this page to take a look to see if there are any updates on when we will open print jobs for the public. We have a few 3D printing guides that are available: 3D printing overview for beginners, 3D printing managing expectations, and 3D printing reality, just to get you started with some information so you have a better understanding of what 3D printing is. When you're ready to go ahead and just take a look at some of the prints and then send them over to the Bloomingdale Public Library, you would actually want to be paying attention to 3D print specs. We have two printers available: the Lowesbot TAS 6 and the Dremel Idea Builder 3D40. So there are some rules that we have to adhere to. The library charges for the cost of materials and the time for 3D prints. Measuring precisely how much each individual print would cost could get extremely detailed, so we have simplified it to 50 cents per half hour of printing. But go ahead and look at these print specs here. The maximum print size is 280 by 280 by 250 millimeters, 11 inch by 11 inch by 9.8 inch otherwise. And the maximum print time is 8 hours for all files submitted. If your project files are over 8 hours total, you must break your project into smaller time increments, and we only accept one 8-hour project per patron per 2-week period. The file types that are accepted are the .stl or .obj files. You can also choose the color. You can make that indication of a request in the 3D print request form. Right now it's not available, but one day it will be. The filament type that we have is PLA only, and with the file names you should make sure to put your full name and the color of filament there as well. So for example, John Thompson True Black.stl. And if you're submitting multiple files, you also want to number those files. So for example, 01 John Thompson Cool Gray, comma, so this is the second file. 02 John Thompson Cool Gray, and so forth. Right now they're only accepting cash for these payments. You can pick up and pay for your item at the adult reference desk, but you will not be charged for any failed prints. Prints will be processed in the order that they're received, and staff will contact you within a week to confirm your file submission, your estimated print cost, and estimated print time. But it could take up to 3 weeks for prints to be completed. But if you do have any questions about 3D printing, you can contact the library here at 3dprint@mybpl.org. Thank you.